Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com. Keep your radio dial right.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hey, welcome back. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy to see y'all again like I do every week. Happy to be back. Happy to be here. This has been a long week, a really long week. My body is just like exhausted, man. My body is tired. It's been a real long week, but good stuff. Very productive, you know. Nothing bad to say there. No real big issues at all, honestly. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow, actually. You know, she's going to be turning 8 years old. Oh, my kids are getting so big. Man, it's crazy. I don't feel like they've been here that long. 8 years old. Oh. But we'll have to do a little pool party for her, so that's pretty cool, pretty nice. I'm going to actually work on a flyer with her today after the show. I want her to be a part of it so she feels a part of it, like she ain't just left out of her own birthday invitation. Everybody knows already that needs to come. They know. She just wants to send them an invitation, a flyer, so we're going to make that for her. I don't mind that at all. Other than that, man, I can't really say too much. Like I ain't really been feeling too. Like, again, my body has just been real weak, real weak. And I don't know what's going on. I'm exhausted. I think I just need to get some more rest. So hopefully, if not Saturday, I believe Sunday, I will for sure be able to get some rest. So looking forward to that. Cannot wait. I'm going to probably sleep the whole day away, relax, take some time, not do nothing. Because I just always have to find something to do. I just don't need to. But other than that, man, it's been a very productive week. The kids are great. Terrence is still, he's doing a lot. He's doing even better with the Michael Jackson stuff. Like, man, this guy is, I think he's gonna probably go change his name when he get older. No, I'm being funny, but I might actually, I don't want to say it, because he might overhear some things. But I've got some things up my sleeve for him as well. I can't wait. I'm pretty excited. But it's been great. It's been wonderful. One thing I will talk about is people kind of, I'm going to go over a little bit of what we talked about last week, but I also want to talk about child support. And in a minute, you'll understand what I mean by that, But again, just last week, we kind of just talked about how, men go through certain things and how it is, which is like separation or when it's like a family, so on and so forth. All the different options and ways of people seeing the flip side of it when it comes to a man, like being a father, being a father. So just kind of give other things to that. I kind of want to go back into it a little bit more because I may have how do I say it? Support is great, right? Support is great. and every man is looking for some type of support, or you should have some type of support or something to go from or go on to. So obviously, today I kind of want to go tap back into it a little bit more, but also with different topics or subjects, if that makes sense. We'll get into it and you tell me, and then we'll kind of go over both last week and this week and just kind of close it up from there, and get that taken care of. But I do want to talk about the way to being strong all the time. I may have like kind of talked about it before in the past, so but ain't nothing wrong with recapping on things, or about things like the strong friend syndrome, or the man everyone depends on, or being the protector while secretly falling apart, or however, if you want to talk about the pressure of leadership in the house. A lot of men can attest to that, right? Or why asking for help feels like failure. Like, we definitely can give our 2 cents on that one for sure. A lot of us are in that mind, in that process, that anytime we ask for help, we failed as men, or we have not done right by how we should or what we should be doing. Um, or who checks on the man that everyone calls, right? I think I've talked about that one before too, that if you're always that person everyone calls when they need somebody to go to, or they may need advice or some kind of help in any way, shape, or form, if you're always that person, then who do you call? Who do you go to? Are you able to, and I'm not saying you can't, but what I'm saying is, are you able to reach back out to those same individuals and pour back into them the same way they pour, or sorry, can they pour into you the same way you pour into them, right? And if that's the case, great, it's beautiful. You got what you call right there is, we share responsibility, right? I'm gonna give and take, right? So people admire your strength until they realize strength usually comes from carrying things nobody should have to carry alone. Which, fellas, there's a lot of things we have to understand and realize that we're not gonna have to carry it alone. We don't need to. We try. We can try as much as we want to, but some things are just meant to have help. I always go back to that whole thing. That's why you have men and women, right? You are here to help each other do things. It's a balance, right? We need each other. It's no more one needed more than the other. We need each other. I need a good balance. We need a good balance for it. So, you know. But after carrying all that weight for years, something interesting happens. You stop chasing happiness and you just start chasing peace. And I like the way it's put like that, because sometimes people can chase the happiness or say they're happy, but are you at peace? Are you peaceful? Are there still things bothering you, things that you need to get off your chest, things you need to kind of open up about? More so like, are you okay with explaining the fact that there are some things that affected you in a way you don't understand? You have to be able to be willing to communicate and say, hey, you know what? I need to open up and talk about these things, or hey, I need to reach out to this person to get this kind of support. I need to reach out to that person to get this kind of support, or I need to do X, Y, Z, so that way I don't have to worry about ABC. I personally, I'm not going to lie and tell nobody anything. What I'm going to be honest about is, I have come from a place of where I was very hard-headed, because I just felt like I knew it all. I felt like I knew everything. And nobody can tell me anything otherwise. Nobody can tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't. There were so many people in my life, and shout out to the ones that are still here. I appreciate y'all to this day. And they have just been trying to point me in a direction sometimes with advice that, yes, I didn't think of it, but that's the point. It's different advice. It's something to consider, to maybe this is a better outcome to it than going here. Maybe this way will get you a better, what do you call it? Better ending, versus doing it this way where you're going to just blow it up. It's so many people that have just been trying to point me in a better direction, and I just kind of ignored it. I was like, man, look, you can't. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm a man. I gotta go. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I never, I had a father figure, and he left when I was 15 or 16. Unfortunately, may he rest in peace. And then my mom got remarried again. I was an adult at that point. I wasn't expecting nobody to really have to, be a father to me at that point. I'm grown. That's how I felt. I got to deal with it on my own now. I felt like I couldn't even go to that man that my mom had been with for the last 14 years, 15 years. Felt like I couldn't even go to that man and ask for support and advice because I'm like, I got to figure it out. That's what I got to do. I don't know how to process nothing. I don't know how to deal with nothing. I went and enrolled myself in anger management because I felt like I don't know. I can't talk to nobody else about how to deal with it. What should I do? How should I process it? How should I calm down from it? What should I do? That's crazy. I couldn't even really process it. I processed the fact that I could have probably went to them and asked them for some advice on how they properly deal with it or what they may go through. That's kind of crazy. And now that I'm here though, there's so many things I go to people about, so many questions I have, comments, concerns that I express because I feel like there are other men in my life that are probably in these situations or are doing better than I am, can give me advice on how to get through certain situations I've never been prepared for. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Back then, I would have been ashamed to admit that because I didn't understand that sometimes it's okay to put your pride to the side. Just ask for some help, ask for some assistance. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means necessary because I simply just try to do better than I did yesterday. Yeah, sometimes that involves making a sacrifice or two that I never thought I would want to make. Sometimes that means going to get advice or going to get some or communicating with people and for things that I feel like I should probably already know. But there's nothing wrong with getting a second opinion. There's nothing wrong with getting verification. There's nothing wrong with getting an understanding to say, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. Because if you're doing it the right way, all they're going to be like, yeah, you got it. And it's okay, cool, good. Go on with it, right? Reassurance is a great thing. And we have to learn to reassure ourselves that as men, it is not a problem for us to say, hey, you know what? I need some help. I need some help. I would hate to have my boys grow up in the environment I did, thinking that they could not ask or find this help from nobody around, So I do my best to, within reason, of course, we all know that sometimes kids learn to try to be a little manipulative or they can be manipulative. But I always make sure to find the root cause of especially anger, like in the boys, anger for sure. I try to find the root cause of it, or the girls being quiet or silent, try to find the root thing of it. Like, okay, what's making you so quiet that you don't want to say nothing or speak up? Typically with the girls, they don't want to get their brothers in trouble. They are just, that's just how they are. They don't want to get their brothers in trouble. That's just how they are. But the boys, they are just more of a, sometimes they're more frustrated, but the only way they can show it is anger. Or sometimes they're a little confused, but they just think that they want to show it that way. So we, working on that and getting that taken care of. I'm kind of excited to go through that journey with them to teach them how to manage and express their emotions. Just like I said last week, an emotional man can be a dangerous man, right? An emotional man can be a very, very dangerous man. Now, a man that has emotional stability, emotional control, or emotional growth, whatever you want to call it, working on it, doing better, um, is a stronger individual, somebody that can learn to process and express themselves. It's a stronger individual because you've learned to tame and manage your emotions to a way where they will not control you, right? A lot of men give this argument about the fact that they hate that women argue back with them or, call them certain names. And I just feel like if you give certain energy and how do I say this in the healthiest way? You have to set boundaries and be respectful, right? Stand firm on your boundaries and just don't let yourself be talked to a certain kind of way. But in doing that, you don't have to disrespect the other person. Once they see that you've calmed and managed your emotions and energy forward, and you're not gonna let that rile you up, they may try to poke the bear more a little bit. But once they see that you like, oh, I'm not doing that with you, they ain't gonna have no choice but to calm down. Because what else can they do? You're not being argumentative. You're not being aggressive. You're being calm, cool, collective. Yeah, it sucks that you got to make that sacrifice and bite the bullet. You got to be the bigger person. Oh, well, sometimes short-term loss for a long-term gain, right? Short-term loss for a long-term gain. It is what it is. But overall, it's allowing yourself to show the emotions and not being able to process and control what you want to say and think, but only with aggression and violence or whatever it is you may do. it makes them look at you and say, you're kind of unpredictable. You're uncontrollable in a way. Um, they don't know what they'll get. So they feel like the traits you are showing is more so something that a woman would do. Am I saying it's not okay to be upset? I'm not saying it's not okay to be upset. I just think we need to learn to express how we're upset better without certain actions involved kind of being in the way, kind of being the roadblock, if you want to say. Um, I know it sucks to have to be like, all right, I'm gonna swallow my pride. I know it sucks. I know it's kind of like, why? But I'm telling you, if you just do it for a certain amount of time and you just realize that you be the bigger person and you kind of just do better with handling and approaching situations that bother you in that kind of way, you'll see the progress. You'll see the change without you even having to do anything. Then at that point, you become on the same level with the other person, and then they start to understand, where you're coming from. Um, it's just hard because a lot of these women feel like they're arguing with their girlfriends, they homegirls and this and that because of the way that, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm not, again, it's, why are we arguing? We all are adults. We know how to talk and conversate. We have issues. Why we can't sit down and talk about it? That's just how I feel about that. I like that people are now, and it may just be for likes and views, whatever the case they doing it for. I like that people are trying to bring people that are having issues together and sit them down to work those issues out or talk about them, whatever the case may be, to get it resolved. I like that people are doing that now. Again, it may be for views, likes, or whatever, but I think that will solve a lot less. What is it? What am I looking for? Um, Unneeded drama, toxicity, fights, arguments, disagreements, whatever the case may be. I like that people are bringing them together to say, hey, let's see if we can figure this out and what the issue is. I hope it's not on no more your Jerry Springer type stuff. I don't want to watch nothing like that. I hope it's on a real, like, heart to heart, like, what's the real issue here? So at the end of the day, what's what can we do to resolve that? um, who knows? But I like that people are doing that now. It's kind of going to make it a little easier for people. I like the fact that everyone is so much focused, or sorry, so much more focused on their mental health lately instead of just letting it kind of bypass and be like, it is what it is. I like that. I'm so happy to see it, because normally people are so caught up in the world and the drama and society that they ain't paying attention to their mental until their mental take control over them. That's why you get people lashing out, doing things they shouldn't be doing, being unrealistic. It's crazy. It's crazy how much your mental will affect everything else you got going on. You could be in the best shape of your life, but if your mental is in the bad, man, you probably won't even feel like doing nothing. You probably won't even feel like you could lift a pencil. It is so serious. It is so detrimental to keep your mental health in check, or to at least be working on it. Because I'm telling you, over time, it's gonna start getting out. It's just gonna build up and be worse, 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 worse. It's gonna get worse. Work on it while it's there. Start somewhere. It's like I tell my kids when they get ready to clean, we don't know where to start. Just start anywhere. You start somewhere and just go from there. Eventually you'll get everything. You know? You'll find your own groove. That's what you'll do. You start somewhere. When they want to do something, I don't know, just start somewhere. That's what I told Terrence he wanted to do. I said, just watch one video, start from there, go from anywhere. Look at it now. My man think he MJ himself. But in general, you just want to do better. Do better than you did yesterday. That's it. It's not that hard. Even the smallest work on your mental, even if you do it once a day, smallest thing, tiniest thing, every day, it'll get better. I'm telling you. I'm speaking from experience. I think I have a lot going on my plate, but I've just been like one day at a time, right? One day at a time. I've been paying attention to the support system I have around. I've been paying attention to the acknowledgments, the endearments. I've seen it all. The help is like undeniable. I can't even express that. Like, It's been great. It's been amazing. Okay. It's just day by day, one step at a time, and take care of things and handle it. Therapy is great, right? I love that I've been going to therapy. I've been actually teaching myself to kind of just have boundaries with people, in a way of understanding what I will and won't accept, and more so not being afraid to hurt anyone's feelings when it comes to certain things that need to be said to them, regardless of who that person may be. It could be a friend, it could be a colleague, it could be anyone, it could be a parent, sibling, whatever. But I've been learning to be more assertive in my boundaries. It's been nice because it's very respectful, and so far, no one has any complaints or objected. Right? I mean, if they did, that's something they would have to figure out, though. But I've been learning that. It's been a great experience. I cannot lie. I'm happy that with everything in life, man, I'm just able to get up and go to work, take care of my responsibilities as a man, as a father, and do what I got to do. I'm just happy to be there and be able to be there and do that. Can't lie. That's what I look forward to. I'm like, you know what? I still get to get up and go to work and take care of home. I still can put a roof over my kid's head. I still can put food on the table. Like even I'm still putting gas in the car. Like little things like that. But I'm taking care of it. I'm taking care of what I can, um, in the best time that I can. So to say. Again, because I've been just trying to worry about my healthy boundaries, which brings me to the next thing I want to say about peace versus isolation, right? Because I had to discover in the last couple of weeks that I was like isolating myself for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, um, thinking that I was just trying to give myself some kind of peace, and that was not the case. Um, but that's why I'm trying to set these healthy boundaries so that I can not kind of, let me stop, so that I can start protecting my peace, right? Um, because the difference between healing and hiding is honestly, what can I say? The difference between healing is facing everything that's bothering you in a respectful, professional way. And hiding is more so kind of like isolating yourself to where you're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna deal with it on my own. I'll figure it out as it comes. I got it. And the problem in that is we end up isolating. Sorry, we end up isolating ourselves to the point where the problem gets hidden, because at some point you're gonna have to address it with the other person, and until you do that, how is it really gonna get resolved, right? But if you're isolating yourself, meaning you want to stay away from them, where does that really come into play? Or let's just put it in a general aspect. If you are isolating yourself from your friends, family altogether because you have things going on, how are they going to know that they need to help you if you're around? Or how they need to know that they have a problem with you if you don't come address them about it? You probably upset that they are still trying to reach out to you and see if you want to hang out, trying to call you, and you like, oh, why y'all calling me? Because they don't know you got a problem with them. They don't know that you have an issue with them. So in their mind, they can still call you. They can still check on you. They can still tell you to pull up on them. And that's what's going on, because you're hiding from the problem instead of trying to heal from it. Because I'm gonna need to address these issues so I can process them correct on my end, so I can deal with them the way that I need to deal with them. That's what I'm doing. That's what I got to do. Okay. Um, when I love my peace, becomes emotional avoidance is what people say is what I emotional avoidance, but isolation. You are sitting there in a way of you love your peace, and that's because you're comfortable in this isolation chamber you in, or this one bedroom studio or apartment or mansion or whatever you want to call it in your head that you be in when you want to avoid the issue. everything there is great for you, obviously. So you're not really worried about nothing else. You're not really thinking about nothing else. But the minute reality snaps back into play, you kind of like, oh shit, where's this coming from? And it's because you've been avoiding it the whole time. And I get it because I've been there before. I've definitely, what do you call it? I've definitely avoided a lot of things because emotionally I probably just wasn't ready to deal with it. Or I didn't know how to deal with it in process. Or maybe I was working on myself at the time and I didn't want to approach it with the same way I did last time, right? I want to do better than I did yesterday. But I figured that I felt like I was at peace and I was really just like over a lot of people and things in life because I got tired of repeating myself, so I wouldn't say anything anymore. But in doing so, when you don't say nothing to nobody about things that bothers you, they're going to continue to do it, right? Because they don't know what bothers you. Or sorry, they may not remember that it bothers you. So best way to explain it was people have been saying my name. My name is spelled Marquan, and people have been calling me Marquan. Or sorry, my name is Marquan. My name is Marquan, but people have been calling me Marquane, Marqueen, Marcus, anything but Marquan my entire life. And I've always had to correct people and tell them, hey, my name is Marquan. Not because it's like I want to be an asshole. It's because I want you to know who I am. I want you to know my name is actually Marquan, right? That's just being respectful. I have no problem doing that all my life and telling people, oh, no, it's Marquan. Mark if it's easier for you, but it's Marquan. I have no problem doing that all my life. But you mean to tell me I can't keep reminding somebody, hey, look, I don't I don't like when you do that. That's not cool with me. It doesn't rock with me. I'm not good with that. This is why. So, I would just love it. You can stop. If you could just stop doing it around me at least, right? Respectfully. Now, if I'm in your house, I'm not gonna complain about nothing you do in your stuff. You are rightfully so to do whatever you please. I will never complain about that in your home. Never at all. That's up to you. You do what you got to do. But I will exit if it's something that makes me uncomfortable. And that's nothing wrong with you. You did it, nothing wrong at all. I just am going to stand firm and show you my boundaries. I just have to. Have to be respectful. So learning that is just better for me because it helps me realize and learn that sometimes I do have to stand firm and remind people, no, remember, this is a boundary of mine. I'm not finna let you cross that boundary, no matter the time or place, wherever it is. If it's a boundary, either you will leave or I will leave, but I will not let it be around me, right? I will be professional and respectful about it every single time, but I will not let you cross a boundary I refuse to stand back on. Because I realize that once you pull that line back a little bit, then they're going to want you to do it again and pull it back more and more until at that point it don't exist no more. So I have been learning to the point of standing firm on that boundary. And when I have to double down on it, I double down with respect, right? I don't have to get upset. I don't have to get angry. I don't have to yell. I don't have to ignore. I don't have to get silent. I just have to just remind them, oh, no, look, hey, that's a boundary for me. I'm going to go ahead and head out. All right, maybe you should head out. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get away from this situation, this environment. I'm going to walk away. One or the other is what you should really do. But I'm learning to stand firm on my boundaries, not pulling back for anybody, regardless of who it is. It's a great feeling because I've learned to do it, and I learned that there are different ways too. That's the part that excites me, is that there's more than one way to be respectful about it and standing firm on your boundaries with whoever it is that's around. There's one way to do it. Because sometimes what I realize I do, that would cause me to keep people emotionally blocked out because I was maybe agitated by them taking advantage of my kindness. So emotionally, I would kind of like avoid them or open up to them. But learning to stand firm on my boundaries kind of learns or kind of teaches me to let people in again, if that makes sense, right? To kind of, I'm not going to say take down my walls, but I'll say it may make me, I may install a gate. I may install a door. Let's say it like that. I may not take my walls down, but I may install a door for you to walk through them, right? And that's because maybe you may need entrance to me again at that point emotionally, and I'm guarded. But I could just be guarded in general. It has nothing to do with you, on a side note. But in this case, if it's because of you and that door is there, now I can let you walk back in again. Because I can forgive you all day long. I may not have to forget what you've done and how you made me feel, but I have to forgive you if I want to allow you back in. It just gives me a safe space to realize where I should be at with you. That's it. Where I should be at with you. And at that point, it's now teaching me that there's been people in the past that I've been trying to reconnect with in the past few months. On a just a hey, let's just have a conversation. That's it. Let's just have a conversation. Whatever happens after the conversation happens, and we'll call it a day. Right? Just let's have a conversation. Even if they've wronged me. No, let's just have a conversation. Just for an understanding. Because a lot of people don't understand. If you've wronged me, I've probably forgotten about it already. Or let me rephrase that. I've probably forgiven you about it and put it in the back of my head somewhere, and not even thought about it. People don't even want to reach out because they feel like that, oh, I wronged him. He'll never listen. I am all about forgiveness. People change every day. Every day. People change every day. But I have seen and realized that when I have these conversations, people assume that I just don't want to talk to them no more. Just because I keep my distance from you, don't mean I hate you. If you ever feel like you want to have a conversation over anything that went wrong in our lives, please reach out to me. I have no problem with doing so. It's not an issue. A conversation is better than you going along thinking, I don't have room in my heart for hate. I don't have room in my heart for hate for anyone at all. So I'm always down to have a conversation. Healing is great. You know what I mean? Who knows? You might need it. I might need it. You never really know. We both may need it. Who knows? But I will never take that away from people. But that's why I ask y'all, are you really protecting your peace? Or are you avoiding it? Are you avoiding people? Huh? Again, I understand you don't have, and when I say avoiding people, I mean you making your way to stay out of their way. Making it your way. Or are you protecting your pain? Are you? Sound like you're protecting your pain. Are you resting? Or are you retreating? Yeah. Those questions, just simmer on those. Think about that. Think about that. I just want you to remember that peace should not become a prison. Okay? Sometimes the reason we isolate isn't because of what happened in adulthood. Honestly, it's because of what happened in childhood. Right? So, some fault as fathers, right? Some of us have these wounds, the lessons we never received. Kind of like what I was saying earlier about my kids. Like me growing up without a father. Honestly, man, I don't know what it is that I don't like that stereotype that if you don't have a father in your life, you're going to grow up to be a bad person. I have made bad decisions in my life and I have made mistakes and I have learned lessons to do things different the next time around. I will. But even with growing up without a father, I think I turned into a pretty decent young man. I have 4 beautiful children. I am in their lives actively and presently. Of course, financially. It's a given. I go to work. I take care of home. I stay out of trouble. I pray. I'm a man of God. So my mother was a strong black woman, strong, independent black woman, and she's had help along the way. And I'm so thankful for the life she was able to give me. But growing up without a father did not mean I was going to be going down a bad path. Okay. It gave me motivation and fuel to create my own family and be better than the father I never had. That's it. That's all it was. Um, looking for validation from coaches, older men, gangs, relationship, work. Like, these are wounds that it's I hate to call them wounds because I know it's a part of life, but it's hard when you have to look for validation in so many different places as a man because so much is expected of you. And you have to learn to kind of seek validation within yourself first in what you do to understand that regardless of what other people may think or feel, you got it. You good. You're doing the best you can. Okay. But it is a problem when sometimes, you gotta seek so much validation because you don't even know if you're on the right path, if you're doing it the right way. And I'm gonna tell y'all something right now, man. Being a father I got 4 different kids. Okay. That means each time, each one was different. So each level of my fatherhood was different. The basics, okay, I got those down after the first time. That was the basics. But each thing with those kids, where it was learning to crawl or walk, or them eating by themselves, or them learning to what do you call it? To sentences, to speak and tell you exactly what they want. Like whatever it came to, or playing with certain toys, or if they learn to play the game, whatever it may be, certain different experience that it came to letting them see, it was all different. So what I'm trying to say is you're never going to get it right. You're going to learn everything as you go as a father because that's how it is. It's how it is. Don't be afraid of saying, I don't have the experience to be there. All right. I went into it because I just knew so bad I wanted to be a dad. And I only knew that part of it. As I went and learned and grew, I kept, my first son, I won't lie, I read books. I read books. When Diamond was pregnant with Terrence, I read books. That's how bad I wanted to be a father. I just used to watch TV shows that were family oriented. And I know I didn't have a dad growing up, so I know I wanted to be a dad. I wanted to do everything I could with my kids that I didn't get to do with my dad. Like, it was so much to it that when it came to that point, like, they were so shocked at how much I knew when Terrence first came. I was like, yeah, I did my research. I did my research. I really did. But within that though, we seek validation probably from other fathers. But I'm telling you now, I think the only validation you need is that if you trying, if you being there, if you're doing what you got to do, that's it. That's the only validation you really need to seek. You don't need to look for it nowhere else, right? If you handle the responsibilities and you know bills getting paid, you don't need validation from nobody else. If you in them kids' lives, you make sure they got what they need and they taken care of, you don't need no validation. If you have a job and a career, you go to work and take care of it, you don't need validation. You're doing what you have to do. I'm telling you, you just got to work towards it. Or like discipline versus punishment. As a father, I had to learn the difference between the two. Punishment is, maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you did do something that was a mistake, but you still have to learn the consequence for it. So you have to be punished. Okay. But, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Yes. Yes. You have to be disciplined. Maybe you made a mistake, you have to be disciplined. So maybe that discipline could be, I don't know, maybe something as small as me taking your phone away or putting you in the corner for a little while because you had made a mistake. Now, you being punished for something is because, how was it that I had worded this? I had this worded so differently when I had the conversation in therapy. So you know what? I'm gonna come back to this next week. I promise you. I had this whole thing, this whole spiel for that part, and I just forgot it. I just forgot it. Yeah, it might come back to me. But let's go on about this one. How about why boys need examples of emotional regulation? Um, because do you really want them to grow up and be emotionally unstable? Because if they're angry and violent for no reason, like I was saying earlier, my boys can mix up confusion and frustration and irritation with anger. So I help them process those and figure out what it really is before they have to call it anger. Because sometimes you're not angry, you're just frustrated, or you're confused, or you're just irritated by something. But we have to process that and understand which emotion is happening right now so you know what's going on. So when they need examples of that, it's because if they grow up without that, what if they do grow up and they're emotionally unstable and they're aggressive and abusive and they just violent to everybody? What if they ended up in jail or in a body bag or something because they can't control themselves? They put themselves in a bad environment or a bad situation because they can't control their emotions. So they do need good examples of that. Honestly, I don't know how I think I just watched my brothers growing up and I just realized what I didn't want from watching what they did. So it kind of went from there. But then I became an adult and just started taking classes like, anger management and stuff like that, just to kind of go into therapy, counseling, just get myself together, man, work on myself, being a better person and individual. Um, and all the while, the reason I am trying to teach them emotional regulation is because I want to break generational curses. I'm not opposed to telling everybody I want to break generational curses. I want to be better. I want my kids to have a better life than I ever had. I'm not wrong for wanting them to do better and be better than me and live better than me. I'm going to work as hard as I can, as hard as I need to make sure they have a great life. Again, when I didn't have a dad growing up, man, that affected my entire identity, because who am I supposed to look up to or think to even be like if I don't have anybody there? So now I got to process all of these different things, and I see, again, television or whatever it may have been back then when we were watching it, or even social media as a teenager growing up. But I see all of this stuff now, or video games, all of these different personalities, and I'm like, okay, which one is the right one for me to choose? They're all great, they're all good examples, and what do I do? It was crazy. It was crazy, but what's even crazier is I realized that I'm such a great dad, which is great and amazing. But the reason I'm such a great dad is because I carry so much trauma from not having one. And that is why I am the perfect fit for a father for my kids, because I am being the father I always wanted and needed. And that's what they need. So it's great, but it's like, damn, it's trauma that's fueling it. Or was fueling it, whatever you want to say, that sparked it, something like that. But because of that, I am completely raising my sons different. I'm doing it better than I need to be for all of them. Some men spend their entire lives trying to become the man they needed when they were 10, 12. But here's the beautiful part: healing is possible. And one of the greatest tools we have is something many men have spent years avoiding, right? And of course, men avoid therapy because of common myths. Therapy is for crazy people, fear of vulnerability, fear of judgment, fear of finding out that what's actually wrong. Therapy doesn't change your past, or it changes how your past controls your future. Your own experience could be powerful, like you got to realize that. For example, without going into details, you're not comfortable sharing, just try to think of a time where you were kind of showing let me give you an example for myself, right? I'm going to give you an example of myself. Okay. So there was a time where, I wasn't in the right mindset and I was just ready to end it all. Okay. I wasn't ready to just give it all up. And I made one phone call and just asked for help. I said, just please, just talk me out of this. All I need you to do is just to talk me out of this. Because the way I'm feeling, I'm just ready to, let everything go. I just said, I need help. Just please help me. Talk me out of this, please. And of course they did. But it gave me a minute to think and process and realize, like, it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not this bad. You don't have to do this, okay? And instead of me giving up, that person was just like, that's where I got the idea to go back to in-person therapy for a while, And it just was like giving me the motivation to realize I got to keep going. I'm going to choose to keep going. I'm going to take it day by day. I'm going to choose to keep going. I got this. I can take care of it one at a time, day by day, day by day, day by day. Like if your truck needed repairs, or if your phone stopped working, or if your house had foundation damage, right? Why do we fix everything except ourselves? Can you answer me that? You can only carry unhealed pain for so long before it starts looking or leaking into people who never caused it. Or in other words, you start bleeding on people who didn't cut you. Right? So I want to talk about, like, well, not really talk about, it's brief because we're almost out of time here. But strength, peace, fatherhood, healing, and therapy. I'm telling you, man, it's a beautiful thing when it's like getting the glove of Thanos when you obtain all five, right? Real strength isn't carrying every burden by yourself. Real strength is having enough courage to admit when the weight has become too heavy. Okay? To every father, to every son, to every husband, to every man who's quietly carrying more than anyone knows, you don't have to earn the right to be cared for. You don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion. You don't have to wear pain like it's part of your uniform. You are worthy of rest. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of peace. And asking for help doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you a man who's choosing life over silence. Okay? The strongest men aren't the ones who never break. They're the ones who choose to heal, right? Last week, we kind of focused on symptoms like loneliness, providing separation, and emotional suppression. But this one explores the roots, like the burden of always being strong, confusing peace with isolation, father wounds, and avoiding therapy. Together, they create a cohesive series, right, for men's mental health. And it's just more so of a way to kind of process how things are looking from start. I don't want to say from start to finish because people have start to finish at different places, but for lack of a better expression, I'll say from start to finish. You know, obviously, there are things that we are going to go through in life that we feel like we don't understand what it is, but we have to learn to get to the root of it and find out where it's coming from and why it's affecting you so much in that way, so you can learn to express to people why things bother you. Because I never knew the fact that the reason that I will sit here, and if I'm dealing at work and I will deal with a customer and have the most patience in the world with them, is because I know they need help. I know they need help, and I'm willing to give it to them. The problem is outside of work, when I'm at home and around people, I don't think they need help. I assume they just are maybe venting or just talking. So I don't have that same mindset to be like, oh, you actually need me to pay attention to you to what you're saying because you really need help or advice. So some things I had to realize, oh, okay, I need to go about it differently now. And I need to have that same aspect that I have at work with people around me, because sometimes people are just trying to, hey, pay attention. Hey, pay attention, and help out. You know what I mean? I had to realize that some people really just want to help us. But if we don't open our eyes and pay attention, we'll avoid all the help that's around us to support us, to make us better, or to help us get better, right? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm Juss Quanni. This has been Talk is Cheap. Take care of your mind, protect your peace, love your people. And again, remember, the strongest men aren't the ones who never break. They're the ones who chose to heal. Okay? Peace, love, hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.